when this one runs out. We'll get started here in just a minute or two. Well, 1 minute, 20 seconds. Is that? I'm really liking my new music. What do y'all think? Better music? I think it's better music. I still got options. I got a whole new, nope, I'm not gonna go on a tangent. I'm gonna stay focused because today we are talking about this. How well do you really know your ideal client? Now here's a question for you. Actually, let's do this first. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, I don't know, I maybe kind of know her a little bit. And 10 is like, I obsess, I know her backwards, forwards, inside out, I maybe know her better than she knows herself. 1 through 10, where are you at on your ideal client? I imagine that all of you have done multiple different versions of ideal client worksheets or workbooks or prompts or whatever else. And what often happens is that we focus specifically on, okay, she's a woman over 50 going through menopause. Like we focus on those things. And while I'm not saying that that's not important, I'm saying that just knowing that information is not enough. You have to understand them so well that everything you do in your business becomes easier because you know them. Okay, now just stay with me here on this because this is, I don't know that it's radical thinking, but it may be different than anything else you have ever been told around this ideal client, okay? If you are struggling in your social media content to get comments and engagement, this is the video for you because we're going to talk about what really may be going on. Because oftentimes we think, oh, different content, I'll change this and I'll jump to, and you start messing with this. And the reality is that the foundation underneath is where the gap is. It's in understanding who your ideal client is that is the foundation of these building blocks we're working on to get this connection and this engagement, okay? So I don't want you to necessarily think that you've gotten bad advice in the past. I'm just saying you're going to get some new, fresh perspective today. Does that sound good? All right, let me see. I want to just see what kind of numbers we saw here. So this goes back to how many of these different worksheets have you filled out? 5, 3, 7.5. I like that on the 8th one we gave up halfway through. 6 or 7. Okay. All right. So you all will have to let me know if this starts to twist that and change that in a good way today, okay? So if you are new to me, my name is Jamie Hain. I am a video and growth coach. And what I do is I help my clients get to 5K plus months. And we do that by using video, in particular, a masterclass or a workshop as the center of their conversion in their funnel, okay? What does all that mean? It means embracing video, but before we even get to video, we got to get some of these basics, this foundational stuff solid, and then everything else becomes easier. And we're going to talk a little bit about why that's so important here in a minute, okay? Okay, so it is not just those demographics. Woman over 50, da-da-da, da-da-da. It's not just that. You almost have to get to a point where you obsess over them. And I don't mean obsess as in unhealthy obsession or every single day, 17 hours a day. I'm saying that you spend some time up front and you really get to know them and what makes them tick. So this gets into their pains and their dreams and what they want. And when you understand that information, now you can call out to them in a much easier way. And that's what attraction marketing is all about. It's how do you put content out on social media that your ideal client goes, oh, she's talking to me. You do that by understanding their pains and dreams. And it's not just pains and dreams. We're going to talk about that here in a second, okay? So, if you had to describe your ideal client, if I were to give you 30 seconds, but you can't talk to me at all about the demographics, all I want you to tell me is what are they thinking and feeling in 30 seconds. Could you do that? Could you tell me what's on her mind? I'm going to use her because my ideal client is a her, and so it's just easier for me. Could you do that in detail? What's going on with her? That's ultimately where we're wanting to go here, okay? Because what I'm wanting you to think about is that this is a real person on the other end of your post or your video. It's not a persona, it's not a group of people, it's one specific individual. And I want you to start to get in that habit of, I'm just showing up live and I'm talking to her, or as I'm writing a post, I'm specifically targeting her. And so some of the things that you're going to want to think about are this. What's waking her up at night? What's the thing that is waking her up at night, other than hot sweats, hot flashes, but what's on her mind? What's worrying her? Because if you can talk to that problem, you meet her where she is at, and then you bring her along with you, okay? So beyond what's waking her up at night, where are they failing? In whatever your niche is, where are they going wrong? What mistakes are they making? How are they may have been told one thing and they're going out and doing it, but you know different. So what mistakes are they making? These are just some of the things that you really want to start to question and figure out. Now, I know I got this question on a different post today, which is, okay, but how do I learn that information? We're going to talk about that here in a second, okay? I want to talk about first, why does this matter? What do you all think? Why is it important to get to this kind of detail and knowledge about your ideal client? What say you on this matter? Let's see what you guys are saying here. Hold on. I'm pulling up your comments here. Hold on. Okay, this is interesting. Angela says, my clients are so diverse that the standard age, demographic, psychographics, that's a hard word to say, it's different to target my message to one audience. That's exactly why I say those demographics are leading you down the wrong path. Rather than focus on that, what's more important is to say, what is he or she challenged with, dreaming about, frustrated by? You're going to get far more traction when you understand that information. Okay, Sherry says, wow, you just put my mind on track. Yeah, it's about focus, right? When you get her, you can now talk to her. She's on the other end of that post. She's on the other end of that camera. What would you tell her? How are you going to get her attention? How can you help her? See how powerful this is when you do it in the right way? Whether or not she's 49 or 50, does that really matter? I'm making that up because I know going from 49 to 50 can be a traumatic point. I get you, but hopefully you're tracking with me here. Christine says, create the need. Yes. Okay. If you can think about it like this, I'm going to get out my trusty whiteboard here. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Let's just say she's over here. Let's just say she's here. She's here. Okay. And this is what's going on with her. These are those things. What's waking her up at night? What is she challenged by? What's frustrating her? Where is she failing? Right? That's where she's at. The goal here is to get her over here, which is whatever the results or the outcome or the transformation you get your clients. And what she needs is the path, the roadmap, to go from here to here. Follow me? Okay. So the very first step is you got to attract her. Millions and millions and millions of people on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those different places. So how do you attract her so that she wants to go on this journey with you? If you meet her where she is and you help her see that you can take her here and that you have the path to get there, ooh, now she's interested. See how that works? That's why it's so important. And when you are, when you are general, women over 40, that's not going to cut it. You have to be specific. That to the point, this is ultimately what you're trying to get to. You're trying to get that person on the other end of your post, the other person on the other end of that video to say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. She's exactly what I need. She's the solution to my problem. Now I'm using problem. It doesn't always have to be a problem, right? It can be the goal, the desire, the thing that she wants. But this person is how I get there. Okay, so let's talk about the big one. Do you know your ideal client, or are you assuming? Are you guessing? Well, I think it's this, and maybe it's that, and I don't know. So how do you find out this information? How do you uncover it? Okay, you gotta ask and you gotta listen. And there's lots of different ways that you can do this. I'm going to talk about them today. Okay, number one. Yes, you can do a poll or a survey and get information. But here's the risky bit here. You can't control who's going to take that survey or answer that poll because it's going out to the masses. The same one is true with this one. You can do a color block question. You guys know what I'm talking about, color block? In your group, on your profile, and you can get information in. The challenge is you don't know that all those people who are answering are your ideal client. And so if you make a decision based on what one person says and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to go after that. Now you're attracting a whole lot of people like that, and that might not be your person. So the polls, surveys, color blocks, they're all good. I'm not saying they're not, but they got to be used the right way. And you have to understand what is coming in is just data that you then need to validate. Okay? Okay. What really works is to do market research calls. To actually get people who you know are your ideal clients, get them on a call and ask them questions. A lot of people love doing market research calls. You just, again, got to be careful. Is this the perfect person? Is this your ideal client? As she's telling you and answering your questions, is it tracking? Again, you don't want to market based on what one person says that's not your ideal client. You're going to end up with not the right people. Okay, I know that's heavy. So if you got questions, drop them in the comments and let me know, okay? In addition to market research calls, review the calls you're already doing. So if you already have client calls, if you already do whatever it is that you call them, sessions, things with people, whether they're free or paid, if that person is your ideal client, what are they asking about? What are the questions they're asking? What are the ahas that they're having with you on those calls, whether they're group or one-on-one? All of that becomes information that allows you to better know your ideal clients. And this is going to be one of those things where you're going to kind of hone it over time for sure, and build upon it and be like, oh, it's not so much that, it's more of this. And I want more of this kind. I want to clone these people. I want more of this. Very, very important. Okay. You can also look in other groups. Oops, I missed one here, right? I already talked about this one. If you are active in other Facebook groups, what are the questions people are asking in there? That can be a clue to what they're struggling with, what they're worried about, what they're wondering about. There's another one more option there. Okay, let me check my phone, make sure I haven't missed any questions around what you are trying to do. And let me say this one last thing and then I'll look. Your job in any of these things, any of this list that you are doing is only to take in information. Okay, this is where you got to listen. And you've got to assess, is it right or is it not right? This is not, I want somebody to get on a market research call and I want to pitch them. It's not about pitching or promoting. It is only about data. So what you've got to do is It's not about you coaching, even though it's hard. It's not about you giving them advice or telling them what to do. It is only about I'm trying to get information in. Now, if somebody says, well, wait a minute, I might want to work with you, then do that on a separate call. Very, very important to keep these two things clean. And honestly, can market research calls lead to sales calls? Abso-freaking-lutely they can. But keep them separate. Okay, let me see if you got any questions. Hold on. Sherry says, I have been working on this for 3 years and have not figured it out till now. Yes! Oh, yes! Oh, Sherry, I want to use that as a review. Will you let me use that? That's so powerful right there. Okay. Hold on, I'm reading Angela's. The top 3 areas of concern. Love, money, and health. That's very true, right? It's typically wealth, relationship, or health is usually what's going on. As many people I speak to with these areas of concerns, I found that what keeps them up at night is their inability to get past their own self-talk. Yes! There you go. There you go. That's a specific piece, right? So dig into that even more. What's coming up? What's happening? The more specific you can be about calling out to them, the better you're gonna reach the right people. I love that you guys are sharing your stuff here. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Okay, all right. I'm not seeing any questions, but you guys are getting it, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay. Let's move on. So, okay. What is important to recognize here is that you are not just connecting with somebody who has a problem. If you focus too much on the problem and the pain, these are people that may not want to leave the safety and security of this spot right here. If you're only focusing on pain in your content, that's why you're getting all the people who just want free stuff. And they're not interested at all in doing something else. See how that is? So what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to attract people who are aligned to your offer. In other words, they want out of here and they want to get here and they need something to go. They need a map to get them to the result that they want. So it's not just about understanding where are they at in their pain point. This is just as important. What is the result or the goal that they want? Not what you teach, what they want. Use their words. Because if I use my words, it comes with all this bias. It's everything that I have learned over the however many years I've been studying my craft. You got to use their words to show them that you know where they're at and you can get them where they want to go. Now, there are some signs. Okay? What is it that you are looking for to help to tell you that you're on the right track? Okay? When you start getting comments like this, I got a couple examples. When you start getting comments like this in your lives, in your posts, in your emails, you're on the right track. When you start getting people that say, how did you know? How did you know that that's where I'm at? How did you know that this is what I'm wanting to do? That means you get your ideal client. Okay. Another one, this is always fun ones. I love these. Do you have a hidden camera in my office? How do you know that that's what I'm worried about? How do you know that that's what's waking me up at night? Are you reading my journal with some sort of magic? Those are the fun ones, right? Because then you say, yes, in fact, I am. I have ESP and I know this. Okay. So those are just a couple of things that you're looking for. If you're not getting this, you may not be specific enough. You're being too general. Or you're being too safe with your content. Hopefully you know where I mean there. Okay, so essentially what we're talking about here is attraction marketing. And I want to give you just a very quick analogy or quick story around attraction marketing that I'm hoping will have some ahas. I know as I've talked about this with my clients and in my group programs, this is the time where they go, oh my gosh, I get it. Okay, so let's just assume you have a beautiful house with one of those wraparound porches. You know what I'm talking about? This amazing wraparound porch. And you want hummingbirds. I mean, I just think that would be so cool. Hummingbirds. They're amazing little creatures, right? They're fascinating to watch. Anyway, what are you going to do to attract them? Seriously, if you want hummingbirds to come to your porch, what are you going to do? Now, I'm not a hummingbird expert, but I'm pretty sure that if I just go around my city with a net and try to catch them in other people's yards, that ain't gonna work, right? Because even if I do happen to catch one, they're just gonna go back to where they were because I stole them out of that and I pulled them in here. They didn't willingly come. They don't want to be here, right? But if you instead get those hummingbird feeders and you put out some sugar water, and it doesn't happen overnight. You guys, hopefully you know this, even if you've never attracted hummingbirds. It's not like you put out that sugar water and they're there like instantaneous. It takes consistency, doesn't it? Putting out fresh water, clean, making sure that it's clean. It's a belief system that they will come if I keep putting this out. That's what you've got to do with your content. Your content is your sugar water. It's what you put out to attract your ideal client to you. But you've got to know what goes in that sugar water. And the only way you're going to know that is by starting to map out who is my ideal client, what are the problems and challenges they're having, and where do they want to go. And then you work that into your content. Okay? You with me? Okay. Love the analogy. Isn't it a good one, Kim? It's such a good one. Everybody that I have told this to loves it because it helps you have this visual of, I get it now. I totally get it now. Okay. What questions? I think I have one more question here. Hold on. Ooh, do I have one more for you? Yeah. Here's what I want you to think about as we wrap this up. How would it feel to have your ideal clients commenting and messaging you because they feel seen and heard? How does it feel to you when somebody does a post or invites you to participate in something and you feel seen and heard? You feel validated. Oh my gosh, finally she gets me. Finally she understands where I'm at. She gets where I'm trying to go. That's when they start to believe you're the solution. Your offer, the thing that you're doing, is what is going to get them there. See the magic? Okay, what questions, if any, do you have? All right, I'm not seeing any questions. Okay, I want to talk about a couple more things. I'll look at questions here again. Here's what I'm going to say. I think we're 3 weeks into my 6-month program, and we have just wrapped up Ideal Client. And I cannot tell you how many ahas that this group of women have had around what we're talking about here today. It is a very different way of thinking about that person that's on the other side. And when you can message directly to her, everything becomes easier. Your content's easier. Your offers are easier. Your videos and reels are easier. Your emails become easier because you're talking to that one person and you get her completely. Now, I know many of you are like, I'm not in that program, and maybe I want to be in that program. Well, you're in luck because I do have a membership, and next month, this is what we're talking about. The masterclass in February inside the 5K Club is all about this ideal client. So if that is something you're interested in, let me know. This is the last week. Hold on here. Let me pull this up. It is the last week that it's $33 a month. You can also buy for the year and you get 3 months for free. But it is going up in price. It's going to go up to $47. So last week, Monday, the price goes up. So if this is something you're interested in, let me know. Okay? Okay. Let me see if there's any other questions and then I'll wrap us up here. Yeah, I have the same question that Kim does, Sherry. What is BOD? Will you come be on my BOD? I'm not sure what a BOD is. You're going to have to help us with that. Okay, Kim says, how do I make it attractive? The best thing I can tell you is, come and join us in my membership and I'll help you figure this out because it does take some nuances in there. But I'll leave you with this tip, and that is what you're basically going to do is say, hey, are you here? Are you having this problem? And you want to go here? And then you're going to give them some sort of tip, some little insight, shifting of beliefs that helps them stay with you and recognize that you've got the solution. Hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay, here, hold on here. Angela says, I have 4 different services and the audiences vary. Do I market them all separate even if there is a common thread? Yeah, if you have multiple pieces and parts, right? And you're trying to market all of those solutions all at the same time, it's overwhelming. The analogy that I give my clients is, it's like you've got a fire hose, like off of a hydrant, and you're saying, all right, you ready? Hold on. They don't know what to do. And when they're confused, a confused buyer does nothing. They're just going to be like, oh, I just can't even. And then they just move on, right? So yes, you're going to want to be very specific, whether it's in this week, in this month, this is what I'm promoting. That doesn't mean you don't sell the other services. It's a marketing thing, right? We're marketing one thing. These are the topics I'm covering. Here is the solution I recommend. But I got other options. Talk to me if you want to know more about them. Hope that answers your question, Angela. Okay. Kim needs more details on the $33 program. Okay, I'm gonna give you this real quick. Oh, see, I'm doing my best to try and keep these shorter, and I'm telling you what, it is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Because you guys are so engaged and you ask such great questions, and I just want to help you, and I just love it. Okay, but I will answer this one. So the 5K Club, the whole point of the membership is to get you to consistent 5K months or beyond. 5K, 10K, whatever your goal is, right? And we do that by systematically figuring out what your process is, your sales process. I know it's a dirty word, but I'm saying it anyway. You gotta be in sales if you're an entrepreneur. If you're not selling, you're not selling. Okay, so you gotta embrace this idea of sales. But it does not have to be like used car sales, slimy, yucky, bleh, right? If you do this right, sales becomes easy. I can't tell you how many sales calls I have done where I get on a sales call and the first words out of the other person's mouth is, I'm already in, I just need the details. I've pre-sold them by talking to them in the way that resonates with them most. They already want the thing. That's the easiest way to make sales. Your content, whether it's posts or lives or a workshop or a masterclass or whatever you're putting together, is what gets them pre-sold into wanting to work with you. Okay, so the whole membership is designed to do that. We have a rotation. Every week we focus on something different. And every month we're systematically moving forward through knowing your ideal client, having an irresistible offer. How are you attracting people? How are you nurturing them through your sales funnel? And then what are you doing? I like to call that as a conversion activity. What is the thing that you are doing to book calls? Is it a masterclass? Is it a weekly live? Is it something else? We figure that out over months. It's the same content that's in my 6-month and one-on-one programs. We just do it in bite size in a membership. Okay, so there's other stuff going on. We have a networking call, we have a business call, we've got some other stuff like that, but that's essentially what the program is. That's the result or the transformation that you're getting inside that membership. Make sense? Okay, so if you want to know more information, either reach out, send me a DM, or if you want to put in the comments, just type 5K Club or put membership, whatever works, and I'll get you the link and get you any more details you have. Okay, let's see if you had other questions. Board of directors. Oh, Sherry wants me to be on her board of directors. I gotcha. I knew BOD as board of directors for corporate, but I thought, in the coaching world and entrepreneur world, maybe it means something else. You just never know. Okay. Yes, Christine, you are in it. You are in it. Christine's in it. Okay. I want to wrap up with this. Half an hour. That's not bad. Okay. Here's what's important, okay? Getting to that consistent revenue goal, whether your goal is 5K or 8K or 10K or 20K or whatever else it is, you've got to have a system. It's very hard to hit those kinds of numbers just with posting. Because chances are what's happening is you are posting promotional content and you're getting crickets, right? You post something that is promotional in nature. Here is my session, buy my session. And you get nothing, right? Because people don't go on social media. They're not sitting on their sofa going, okay, give me ads, pitch to me, promote to me all your stuff. That's how I want to spend the next 30 minutes. They scroll right on by that stuff. They scroll right on by. So you've got to have a different strategy. You have to have a system for how you are attracting, nurturing, and converting them into clients. And it's different for all those parts, right? How am I reaching out and getting new people to follow me? How am I taking those people here following me and saying, I have this plan for you? That's the nurture part. And then the conversion part is, what's that conversion activity where it's like the fulcrum that pushes people over, okay? And we're not talking about convincing or salesy or sleazy or anything like that, right? That's not how I sell. It's so much easier than that. It's so much easier than you think it is. As soon as you learn a system, you're going to be like, oh, why didn't anybody tell me this? But here's the key in all of this. Yes, you have to know your ideal client and you have to know what makes them tick and you have to understand all of the things that we have talked about today. But you also have to understand what makes them act. Okay, the word that I like to use is you have to activate your audience. If I'm just over here talking about all of this pain and problem and whatever else, that's not pushing them to, I got to do something to get where I want to go. You've got to get them to take action. But knowing who your ideal client is, that's the magic. That's the foundation. That's the starting point. In fact, I will tell you, for a very long time, I had programs where we did just video. I had programs where we did Facebook groups. And while everybody got results, it wasn't the results they wanted, because this piece, this ideal client piece and this system piece is what's missing. And you got to know where you're going. You got to have a plan that is repeatable, so that you have that consistent, repeatable revenue coming in. That's what it's all about. Okay, I have gone on way too long today, but I hope you have loved it. Have you loved it? Has everybody who's on, and listen, if you are watching on the replay, you do not get off the hook. Has everybody who is on, did you at least walk away with one nugget? One thing that made you go, oh, I need this. I got this. This is what's missing. This is the thing this is part of what's missing from my own system that I'm following. I'm hoping so, because that's my goal. That's why I show up live. I show up live to connect with you and engage with you, but I want to give you a step that you can take, right? Because that step activates you. See what I did there? Okay? You're here in this pain point, and I'm going to activate you into taking some action. And then that's what makes you go, well, I want more. I want the rest of the steps. That's what you've got to figure out in your business for your ideal client. All right, everybody. If you want to talk more about this, message me. I love to talk about this stuff. I would happily book a call with you and we can talk more about it. Otherwise, have a great rest of your Wednesday. Thanks for being here. See you next week. Bye.